How to crochet the crossed ripple stitch. For this stitch, you'll need a crochet hook and a ball of yarn. Special thanks to our sponsor Feel Good Yarn Company for providing today's yarn. Today we are using Lana Monday Yarn's Silver Spun, a North Carolina sock weight cotton spun yarn with pure silver. For this stitch, you'll need to know the following techniques: chain stitch, single crochet, double crochet round front. To begin this stitch, you must create a foundation chain in multiples of 3 plus 3. Now before we get into the main part of this pattern, we're going to do 2 base rows. So we'll begin on the wrong side of our work with a single crochet into the second chain stitch from our hook. Now it's a little bit hard to see in this yarn, but it's got 1, 2. So we're going to go right into this second chain stitch here. Okay, and then we're going to do a single crochet into each chain stitch all the way across. Make sure we get into the bottom of that chain stitch. Okay, and once we reach the end, we'll turn our work. Base row 2. After we've turned our work, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and this will count as a double crochet. Then we're going to skip the first stitch, that's this one right here at the base of the chain, and then we will skip the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and we'll double crochet into the stitch after that. Now we're going to chain 1, and we are going to double crochet into the first of the 2 stitches that we just skipped. So we skipped 1, 2, we're going to double crochet back into the second one here. Okay, just like that. And this is creating what's called a crossed pair. So we're going to repeat this all the way until the last stitch in our row. So let's do that for you again. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches. So that's going to be this one here and this one. Then we'll double crochet into the next stitch. We'll chain 1, and then we will double crochet back. We're going to skip this stitch right here and go back into this second stitch. Okay, and again we'll repeat this until the last stitch in our row. So when we finish our last repeat, we'll end with a double crochet into the last stitch in our row. And then we'll turn our work. Alright, now we're going to get into our actual pattern. So we'll begin by doing row 1 with a chain 1. Then we'll single crochet into the first stitch, that's the one right below our chain 1. And we will single crochet into the next stitch and each stitch all the way across to the end of the row. Make sure you get the whole stitch and not just half of it. And we're also going to be going into the chain space, so you don't want to forget that. Okay, so there's a space right here in between the stitches we'll be single crocheting into as well. So it'll be 2 single crochets into the stitches and then into the chain space. And repeat that all the way across. Now when we get to the end of our row, you want to make sure that you go and do a single crochet into the top chain of our turn chain as well. Okay, and then we'll turn our work. Row 2. We're going to begin by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. That again will count as a double crochet. Then we're going to skip our first stitch, and we will then skip the next 2 stitches, and we're going to work a double crochet into the next stitch. So we're going into the third one here, or 4th stitch actually. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we'll chain 1. So we're doing our crossed pair again. Now there's a slight variation here. Instead of going into the stitch for our double crochet like before, we're actually going to go around the stem of the double crochet below. So this looks a little bit complicated, so I'm going to come down, under, and around the stitch like so, and then we'll draw up all the way real loose. But I did round back, so we need to go around front. Okay, so coming down, underneath, and around the front. Okay, so the stitch is going to be basically like that. If you can't see it again, we're coming around the front, like so. I'm going to yarn over and pull through real loose. And then we'll continue working our double crochet. So this is going to tie that in below and give a real interesting look. Okay, so let's do that again. So we're going to repeat this. Again, we're going to skip 2 stitches. So we've got 1, 2. We'll go into the next stitch to do our double crochet. Then we'll chain 1, and we're going to come down and around this front stitch here. Okay, so we're coming around the front, just as if it was a stitch. We can see it over the hook there. Then we'll draw through, and we want to do that real loose. So make sure you got a lot of slack. We're going to pull that up so it's nice and tall, and then draw through, and draw through 2. So we'll repeat this all the way across until the last stitch in our row. And when we come to the last repeat in our row, we will finish up with a double crochet into the last stitch. Then we'll turn our work. So we're going to repeat rows 1 and 2 until you have reached your desired length. And that's how you crochet the crossed ripple stitch. After a few repeats, your pattern should look like this. Want more New Stitch a Day? Join our VIP email list to get every stitch directly to your inbox. Sign up today at newstitchaday.com/VIP.